Two men, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses, 8 kids, 1 business coach radio show. It's the Thrive Time Business Coach Radio Show. Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
That's it. Arms away.
It's not lonely at the top. It's just peaceful. I am reading this audiobook to you while underneath my deck, which is outside of my man cave that looks over the pool and the grotto, aka the cave, the stones, just the total Camp Clark and Chicken Palace experience. It's the Lampoon Lagoon is what I call it. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. I'm surrounded by 15 acres of trees, green as far as I can see, literally thousands of trees. Water's always flowing. It's just a great place. It's a great place to invite over great people. People that don't plague me with endless drama and personal problems. People that understand the concept of showing up on time. People that do what they say they're going to do by default. Do they make mistakes occasionally? Sure, we all do. But it's a great place to invite over great people. And I have found throughout my career that it is absolutely not lonely at the top. It's actually peaceful. And so I thought I would read this audiobook to you while overlooking the Lampoon Lagoon at Camp Clark and Chicken Palace so that you could hear what I hear all the time. The flowing water, the rooster crowing, the wind blowing through the trees. It is awesome. And for that, I am very, very grateful. Chapter 1, define your F6 goals and the people who kill your soul. Did you know that according to the Washington Post, 78% of men interviewed had cheated on their current partner? Yeah, look that up. The article's called 5 Myths About Cheating. I've often heard it said that it's lonely at the top. I, however, passionately disagree. I love life at the top. I love the peacefulness of being only in the company of people that are drama-free. And you will like it too. Imagine just for a moment that you had earned all the money you need, and thus you found yourself with an abundance of free time. What would you do with all your hard-earned free time? Who would you choose to spend your time with? What places would you go and visit? However, imagine for a moment that you were at the perfect place on that perfect beach eating your favorite food while listening to your favorite music, yet at that very time you were being surrounded by jealous jerks and negative Nancys. No offense to Nancy. My friend, whenever you are around dramatic, chronically dysfunctional, and negative humans, the entire joy and happiness of the moment is clouded and crowded out by their jackassery. Jackassery is a wealth-repelling belief. I remember when my dad was dying from Lou Gehrig's disease and an event was organized in his honor. The food was good. The sentiments were appreciated. But the a-holes, maggots, jerks, betraying, backstabbers, negligent idiots, overall bad people who attended this event made it nearly impossible for me to enjoy. However, on a daily basis, I do not experience these situations because I simply refuse to hang out with people who, 1, constantly email full-page drama. 2, are late to everything. 3, are lazy. 4, who constantly have drama in their lives. 5, people who irritate me. 6, people who want to focus on divisive religious debates. 7, people who have affairs constantly. Oh, that's not very fun. Are you? What? Let me continue my list of listing the kinds of character attributes that would keep people out of my life. The kind of people I choose not to be around. People that complain about their spouse. People that are aggressively wrong. People that are socialists. People who constantly do not say what they're going to do. People who argue on social media all day. People that want to get rich quick. People who are ruled by their urgent emotions. People that complain about daylight savings time as though it were going to kill us. People that spend hours talking about how they're just trying to get over the new daylight savings time or the jet lag, or people that like Bernie Sanders. So in order for you and I to achieve happiness, we must invest the time needed to define the kind of people that we will allow into our lives. So I would encourage you to take a moment to write down the kind of attributes that would allow someone into your life, and the kind of people you don't want to spend time with. What kind of people do you want to spend time with, and what kind of people do you not want to spend time with? Your network is your net worth. It is also important that you take the time needed to define your goals for the next 12 months of your life in the areas of faith, family, finance, friendship, fitness, and fun. Again, that's faith, family, finance, friendship, fitness, and fun. You must say no to grow. Now the moment to start setting goals. You must be ready for the tough decisions to be made. You're already filling up your schedule, so what are you going to have to say no to? TV? Negative people? Social media? What? Not non-actionable news? I love the news. Obligatory family functions? I love going to those parties for my third cousin. Mentoring cousins, networking luncheons, talking about being burnt out, talking about not wanting to be burnt out, talking about your anxiety, getting your eyelashes extended, getting your nails done, watching Netflix, getting massages, traveling and vacationing, starting but never finishing things. Remember that book? You wanted to start the book, but we never really finished the book. We wanted to start it, but we bought into this lie that we're too busy. We've got too much going on right now to finish the book. We've got too much going on right now to finish the thing. Traveling and vacationing, over-volunteering, watching endless YouTube videos on how to get rich quick, attending seminars yet never implementing what you are learning, Google searching, going down the black hole of Google. It is vitally important you decide what things you will, for a season, say no to in order to grow. Now that we have said no to certain things or activities, it's vitally important that you make a specific list of the people you will say no to. Oh, yes, I'm being serious. Person number one, write their name down. Who will you say no to? Who's that negative person? Who's that source of drama? Who's that person who constantly brings the room down in your life? Person number two, who are they? Person number three, who will you say no to? Write their name down. Person number four, who will you say no to? Whose call will you stop taking? Who should you block on your phone? Who should you block from your email? Who should you block from your office? What employee should you fire? What friend should you defriend? What ex-girlfriend should you stop returning their calls? What ex-boyfriend? What store should you stop going to that's negative? What restaurant should you not go to that's negative? What religious organization should you not be a part of anymore because it's negative? Who will you begin to say no to? Who should you unfriend on Facebook right now? Who should you block on your phone right now? Who do you need to push out of your life right now? We just had an employee the other day on a Friday who apparently doesn't like the way he's being managed. So he told a coworker and then another coworker. So he'd been at my office for 3 days, starting off on his new job. He told me he was excited. He wanted accountability. He wanted to learn new skills. He wanted to rise up in the company. But 3 days into the job, he'd already told two people that he didn't like me or the way I managed or the way that his manager managed them, and he didn't like the office environment. And so he had the courage to bitch, but not the courage to quit. The courage to complain, but not the courage to refrain from showing up to work. 'Cause he needed the check, but he couldn't quit. So I fired him. Notable quotable. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Proverbs 13:20. Listen to that waterfall. There's actually 3 waterfalls in a slide. Well, I guess there's a hot tub that's spilling water into the pool. There's a waterfall going over a cave, and then there's another waterfall, and then there's a slide. So 2 waterfalls and a hot tub spilling water into the pool. It's great. I love it. It's awesome. I'm going to have great people over to my house tonight. I had great people over last week. And the great people have great things going on in their great life. They're great parents who have great things to say about their spouses. We ate great food. We had great conversation. It was great. But when you invite negative Nancy's over, and you invite negative people over, when you have that family member that just can't seem to stop having sex with people he's not married to, the drama continues. When you can't stop inviting that cousin who's trying to hire your employees away from you, things get weird. When you can't stop hanging out with or being around people with constant drama, your life becomes dramatic. Notable quotable, Proverbs 13:20. Again, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. I repeat it one more time. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Now, for you Christian readers, this verse is true even if we are talking about your family. Yes, you must be intentional about who you will allow to have access to you. The verse says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. It doesn't put out a disclaimer that says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm, unless we're talking about your family. Punt family members that are crazy. Get them out of your life. I don't care how much money you earn. You will never be happy when surrounded by negative, nefarious, and scheming family members. Trust me. I've tried to prop up negative, lazy, and slacker family members, and every time it just makes them more entitled, jealous, and unappreciative. Picture this. This is you at the top of Mount Success when you're surrounded by negative people. Okay, I'm at the top of Mount Success. Now picture this. You're at the top of Mount Success, surrounded by great people. Woo! Great people, great conversation, no drama, unbelievable. I really do believe that happiness is defined by how much time you spend with the people that you like. Happiness is defined by how much time you get to spend with people that you enjoy being with. Notable quotable. Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. 1 Corinthians 15:33. What? Yeah. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins morals. Notable quotable. Surround yourself only with people who are going to lift you higher. Oprah Winfrey. What? Oprah Winfrey has said what? Oprah Winfrey said, surround yourself only with people who are going to lift you higher. Thank you, Oprah. The vast majority of Americans hate their jobs, or 7 out of 10 workers have checked out at work or are actively disengaged. According to Gallup, again, Gallup reports that the vast majority of Americans hate their jobs. 7 out of 10 workers have checked out at work or are actively disengaged. Thus, I wouldn't listen to the vast majority of people. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, 78% of men have had an affair, according to the Washington Post. They've cheated on their current partner. Thus, I don't care what 78% of people are saying. Why am I writing this? I'm writing this because the vast majority of Americans are people that are wrong and whose personal drama and issues will inhibit the overall level of happiness that you can have in your life. Be careful, my friend, about who you spend your time with if you want to have a happy life. If you want to have a happy life, you've got to be careful about who you spend your time with. Chapter 2. It takes a grind and a mastermind. Jim Rohn, the best-selling author and renowned speaker, writes, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you want to achieve super success, it is very important that you build a friendship and a network based and comprised of high character and top performing individuals. As an example, if I wanted to do the following things today, I could because of the people I know. Get a $100,000 bank loan. Interview an NFL player on the Thrive Time Show podcast. Interview a top 40 singer-songwriter on the Thrive Time Show podcast. Get the answers to any business question imaginable. Get any legal question answered. Talk with the highest elected officials in my state. Buy a car for 30% off, etc. I can do all these things because of my network and the people I choose to spend my time with. It's hard to get life advice from a homeless person. It's hard to get life advice from your family member who's having his third divorce. And do these people have a place? Yeah, they can go to church. And maybe they can meet new people who have a new belief in them. But if you've seen somebody for 18 years or 19 years be dysfunctional, get them out of your life or your life will be unhappy. At the end of the day, it will come down to who you know and what you know if you want to ever grow. I repeat, at the end of the day, it will come down to who you know and what you know if you ever want to grow. Who do you know today in the world of accounting, banking, legal, leadership and mentorship, real estate investing, financial management? Assuming that you do now have every connection possible, you still must rise and grind or you'll be left behind. Today I woke up at 3 a.m. to prepare for my Saturday morning appointments. And I've been doing this for nearly 20 consecutive years. Notable quotable. When you're around enormously successful people, you realize that their success isn't an accident. It's about work. Who said that? Ryan Tedder, the Grammy award-winning singer-songwriter, the producer of the hit show, one of the producers of the hit show Songland, says, when you're around enormously successful people, you realize their success isn't an accident. It's about work. Again, Oprah said what? Oprah said, surround yourself with only people who are going to lift you higher. Chapter 3. Walk with the wise and you'll win. Walk with the idiots and your wallet gets thin. Proverbs 13:20 again reads, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. It's amazing to me how many business owners are placing their incompetent friends, family, and acquaintances in charge of something in their business simply because they know them. Whether they are your friend or someone you just met, you must remember that walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Proverbs 13:20. Don't put your son or your daughter in charge of your business just because they're your son or daughter. What? Don't put your best friend in charge of your business just because they're your best friend. What are we doing? We've got to put ourselves in a position where we're surrounded by wise people doing what they do well. No, I wish I would have realized this, that, maybe just when I started my companies, but I didn't. It took me years for some reason to figure it out. Oh, I wish I would have realized that just by being friends with fools, I would be harmed. Henceforth, I've committed myself and my time to no longer being around fools. I won't invite them over to dinner. I won't go to their weddings. I won't attend their birthdays. I won't go out to eat with them. I will not be around fools. Now, Kobe Bryant, the 5-time NBA champion and 18-time NBA All-Star, writes, I can't relate to lazy people. We don't speak the same language. I don't understand you. I don't want to understand you. Amen, Kobe Bryant. Chapter 4, The Secret of Happiness. The secret of happiness is minimizing the amount of time you spend with people you don't choose to be with. Phil Libin, the former CEO of Evernote. I repeat, Phil Libin writes, that's a L-I-B-I-N. That's Phil Libin, L-I-B-I-N, the former CEO of Evernote. He writes, the secret of happiness is minimizing the amount of time that you spend with people you don't choose to be with. What are you intentionally doing right now to minimize your time spent with fools? Well, I'll give you a list of things you can do to minimize the time that you spend with fools. 1, stay off of social media. Remember, social media was created for entrepreneurs to show their advertisements, their ads, and for the average person to show their what? Remember, social media was created for entrepreneurs to show their ads and for the average person to show their it rhymes with mass. So 1, stay off social media. 2, defriend people on Facebook. That's one of my favorite activities. 3, block certain contacts on your phone. Love that activity. I love blocking people. 4, tell certain people that we are 100% done with each other. Our relationship can never be improved. We're done. That is also one of my favorite things to do. I love it. There's a certain finality to it. It's like they're dead. We move on. And you might say, you're harsh. No. Everybody I know who's super successful doesn't spend their day surrounded by idiots. And you can't be happy, even if you have a bunch of money, if you're surrounded by idiots. So you have to tell that certain family member, you have to call them on the phone, and I've done this numerous times. You call them up, and this is what you say. You say, hey, I realize that drama is what you do, and you're always going to have life problems and whatever that is. And so henceforth, I am never speaking to you again. Oh, it's so freeing when they don't come by anymore. They don't call. They don't stop by. They don't email. It's the best. So whether you are ready to accept it right now or not, the former CEO of Evernote had it correct when he once said, again, the secret of happiness is minimizing the amount of time that you spend with the people you don't choose to be with. Phil Libin, the former CEO of Evernote. Proverbs 18:24 reads, a man of many companions may come to ruin, but here is a friend and sticks closer than a brother. Proverbs 18:24. Don't have a bunch of acquaintances. Have a good friend or a few good friends that can support you and you can support them. Have those mutually beneficial friendships. Chapter 5. Don't allow cancerous relationships to fester and grow. Don't be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Remember, if you have good people in one circle and bad people in one circle, and those two circles are intersecting. At the intersection of those two circles, you have this thing called the Vesica Pisces, where the two circles connect. It's the good people and the bad people, the Vesica Pisces. It's where two circles connect. That, my friend, is crazy town. In order to get where we want to go, you and I both know that we cannot allow bad relationships to fester and grow. If your partner is cheating on his wife with a member of your customer service team, you want to remove that cancerous activity and person from your organization as soon as possible. If your partner is stealing from your business to buy a massive truck, this is a problem, and you want to deal with it now or as soon as possible, even if you're related to them. If your partner is chronically late to every business meeting, you need to deal with this as soon as possible. If your managers are not starting their meetings on time, you want to deal with this situation as soon as possible, because according to Corinthians 15:33, do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. What? Yes. As for me, I personally cannot handle being around people that choose to be low energy and negative. Now, retired four-star general and the 65th United States Secretary of the State, Colin Powell, the United States Secretary of State, the 65th United States Secretary of State, Colin Powell, says, surround yourself with people who take their work seriously, but not themselves, those who work hard and play hard. If you and I are not serious about and intentional about dealing with the negative people around us, soon you will be forced to change when they break various laws. When the people around you start breaking various laws, you'll be forced to change. Oh, yeah. When the customers start leaving your company, you'll be forced to change. When bad things happen to your immediate family, you'll be forced to change. When they steal from you and buy that truck, you'll be forced to change. You see, these people create drama in your life or find a way to steal your happiness by causing you to think about them and their poor life choices even when they are not around. It's unbelievable how these people can do this. These people who are negative, they can cause you to have unhappiness even when they're not around. It's like their spirit and their aura and their life dominates your family discussions. You've got to get those negative people out of your life. Those drama-causing people, those currently cancerous, negative, and drama-causing people have to leave your life. Chapter 6. Don't lower your standards. Romans 12:2. Romans 12:2 writes, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God and what is good and acceptable and perfect. You can't lower your standards enough to meet the standards of idiots. Oh, I've tried, but it's not possible. They're supposed to be on time, and they say, well, can I just be, at least, what if we have like a 15-minute grace period? Can we do like a 15-minute grace period? Or they'll say, it's really harsh that you fire people after the third write-up. What if we can get 4 write-ups? Or they'll say, I know I'm supposed to write in all caps, all capitalized text when writing on work documents, but I forgot. They always forget. They always say, I forgot. They always say that, I forgot. They always say, I forgot. Or they have an emotional situation. I've got something personal going on at home. There's something going on at home. They always have a personal drama, right? or they forgot, or there was a miscommunication. You cannot ever lower your standards enough to appease lazy, godless, and morally relative people. Whether it's insisting that your organization starts everything on time or that your organization only hires A-quality people, holding your team accountable to a higher standard will require you to make people mad. What? Yeah, when you hold people accountable, turns out people don't like it. Think about your favorite coach in sports or your favorite teacher. Somebody who really pushed you to be your best. They did what? Held you accountable? Yeah, and that's not that fun. Right? It's not super fun to be held accountable. But we love the results, don't we? So get used to making people mad if you want to hold people accountable. Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple and the former CEO of Pixar, and the founder of Next, once said, "Be a yardstick of quality. Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected." In what areas have you allowed mediocrity to creep into your life and organization? Ask yourself that. In what areas have you allowed mediocrity to creep into your life and organization? The legendary professional football coach Vince Lombardi, who was the former football coach who led the Green Bay Packers to 5 total NFL championships in 7 years, in addition to winning the first Super Bowl, says, "The quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen endeavor." Chapter 7. Accept that most people are wrong about everything all the time. Here are some examples. According to Psychology Today, 17% of couples are content with their partner. Just 17% of couples are content with their partner. That means that 83% of people don't like their spouse. Therefore, they're not qualified to give you marital advice. According to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and CBS News, 75% of employees steal from the workplace, and most do so repeatedly. What? That means that 75% of employees, 75% of people are not qualified to give you work advice because they're stealing. And 83% of people aren't qualified to give you marital advice because they don't like their spouse. 85% of job applicants lie on their resumes, according to Inc. magazine. What does this mean? Thus, I can accurately tell you right now that the vast majority of people are wrong about relationships, stealing from the workplace, having affairs, lying at work, lying on their resumes. So in order for you to achieve success and peace, you must stop listening to the advice provided for free by most people most of the time. Stop listening to the feedback of most people most of the time. Whenever somebody wants to give you advice, ask yourself, is this person qualified, bona fide? Are they qualified to give me advice? Stop listening to your man secretary, to your female secretary, to somebody who just has the job as your web helper, your website helper, your office manager. They're going to say, "I'm concerned I don't like the strategy we're doing for search engines." They're going to say, "I don't agree with call recording." They're going to say, "Is it ethical to do a group interview?" They're going to say, "I think I should be paid more." Go ask the average consumer if they're happy with the price they pay for services and products. The average consumer will always tell you that they believe the price should be lowered on any given product. Almost every consumer always tells you the prices should be lower. They say, "I love the service, but the price should be lower. I love the product, but the price should be lower." But if you ask the average employee, they're going to say that they feel like they should be paid more. The average employee says they should be paid more. So the average employee says they should be paid more, and the consumer says the price should be less. How could you possibly make a profit? You couldn't. So stop listening to the average person. Notable quotable, this just in. Albert Einstein says, "Few people are capable of expressing with equanimity opinions which differ from their prejudices of their social environment. Most people are even incapable of forming such opinions." So in order for you to achieve success and peace, stop listening to the advice provided for free by most people most of the time. And by the way, it's not lonely at the top. I don't know if I've shared this. It's just peaceful. Today, I've been reading a book out here today, enjoying the waterfall, hanging out with the kids, going to Mr. Mambo's, Atwood's, Guitar Center, and Hobby Lobby. And it is peaceful out here. There's no drama back here. Why? Because the idiots aren't back here. One could argue that one of my roosters might be an idiot, but I love him. Chapter 8, Getting Schooled on How to Deal with Fools. Robert Greene, the best-selling author of Mastery, writes, in the course of your life, you will be continually encountering fools. There are simply too many to avoid. We can classify people as fools by the following rubric. When it comes to practical life, what should matter is getting long-term results and getting work done in as efficient and creative manner as possible. You can distinguish them by how little they get done or how hard they make it for others to get results. They lack a certain common sense, getting worked up about things that are not really important while ignoring the problems that will spell doom in the long term. Who do you know that meets this description? You can't win an argument or get them to see your side or change their behavior because rationality and results don't matter to them. You simply waste valuable time and emotional energy. Getting schooled on how to deal with fools is super important. Frankly, we live in a world where fools are all around us. You can quickly tell who a fool is by asking yourself the following questions about the potentially foolish person in your life. Does the potential fool actually get a lot of real things done? Does the potential fool get easily worked up about things that don't matter while neglecting the things that matter most? Does the potential fool ignore problems that will create certain doom for the business and for their life while neglecting the most important action items they need to get done in their life? Over the years, my belief and hope in most of humanity has greatly diminished. For years, a member of my extended family has argued that the American healthcare system is screwed up and that universal healthcare is the way to go. Yet when I ask for examples of countries that are doing well as a result of implementing this system, they get silent. They advocate socialism and communism. And yet when I ask, okay, what country's doing better? The capitalistic South Korea or the communist North Korea? They're like, yeah, well, that's different because, okay, what country's doing better? Israel or all the countries around them? Yeah, well, that's different because, okay, what country's doing better? Venezuela or America? Yeah, well, that's just because, what country's doing better? Australia or Cuba? Well, that's just because people that are fools can't handle logic. Socialists can't handle logic. And once somebody's become socialist in their worldview, they are somebody who you know is also financially struggling. That's why they've given up on capitalism, because they can't compete in it. It's like not being good at a sport, therefore saying that the sport is a bad sport. The sport's not a bad sport just because you're not good at it. It just means that you're bad at that sport. When you find yourself talking with someone who sincerely does not value logic, common sense, rationality, or capitalism, run for the hills. Also, when you meet a passionate Bernie Sanders fan, it's time to run for the hills. Wade Boggs, the Major League Baseball player and Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, once wrote, "A positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is a catalyst that sparks extraordinary results." Chapter 9. Only listen to goats and invest in building moats. The fastest way to change yourself is to begin hanging out with people who are already the way you want to be. Reid Hoffman. Reid Hoffman is the founder of LinkedIn, the Greylock Partners. He's a venture capital partner with Greylock, and he's one of the original partners of PayPal. Again, that's Reid Hoffman. He says, the fastest way to change yourself is to hang out with people who are already the way you want to be. As you seek to improve the quality of your life and your family's life, it will become increasingly important that you only listen to people who have actually achieved success. In today's culture, everybody is a social media expert and a search engine expert if they own a laptop. In this world of endless distractions, it's important that you only listen to organizations and people with a proven track record. It is also important that you invest into creating the rules and systems needed to prevent yourself from being reachable by random solicitors, scammers, and time-wasting individuals who want to just pick your brain. Set up those digital boundaries right now. Turn off those smartphone notifications. Get off of that. Take the apps, take the smartphone apps, take the social media apps off your phone. Move if you need to. Get out of the ghetto. Move away from the rednecks. Do whatever you have to do, but get away from idiots. Lee Cockrell, the former executive vice president of Walt Disney World Resorts, who once managed over 40,000 employees and 1 million guests per week, once wrote, "You either pay now or pay later with just about every decision you make about where and how you spend your time." Chapter 10. Avoid people who obsess about arguing about politics and religion. Tim Ferriss, the best-selling author of the 4-Hour Workweek series and the host of the Tim Ferriss podcast, writes, "You are the average of the 5 people that you most associate with." This chapter will be short, like the conversations that you should be having with the members of your team about religion and politics. In a nutshell, there are over 33,000 Christian denominations. We know. We get it. This means that people who invest and have invested their entire lives to studying spirituality and the Bible and their Christian faith have disagreed with each other to the point that they have agreed that they can no longer agree and that they must go out and start 33,830 denominations. They've started 33,830 factions of the same faith. Don't allow religious or politically divisive people to hog your meetings and to waste your time. Dale Carnegie, the best-selling author of How to Win Friends and Influence People, writes, "The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it." Snap. Chapter 11. Develop an action bias and avoid excuse-making bureaucracies. Success seems to be connected with action. Successful men keep moving. They make mistakes, but they keep moving. Conrad Hilton, founder of the Hilton Hotels. In order to become successful, you must create an action bias within your organization, like Conrad did when starting the Hilton Hotel chain. If you want to achieve massive success, you simply cannot allow excuse-making bureaucrats to enter your organization or your life. Chapter 12. Burn bridges to create distance. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth. Wow. Revelations 3:16 from the book called The Bible reads, "So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth." Sounds harsh and biblical. Have you noticed that about the Bible? It's up and down, left and right, black and white, A or B. It's not in the gray area. It's not, well, I can see your point. It's pretty decisive. Decide right now the kind of life you want to have and the kind of people that you want in your life and start making some changes. Today is your day. Come on now. It's not lonely at the top. It's just peaceful. Listen to that waterfall. Oh, it's so good. Now, unfortunately, we all have had perpetually negative people in our lives at one point or another. However, in order to free yourself from these negative people, you must burn some bridges. You must call some people up and let them know that they are out of your life for good because of the actions that they continue to take on a daily basis. You must call some people up and let them know that they are out of your life for good because of the actions they continue to take on a daily basis. Did you know that the friends of your enemies are your enemies? What? Yeah, the friends of your enemies are your enemies. The people that don't like you, right? If there's think about somebody in your life right now that doesn't like you. Are they friends with your friends? If they are, that's a problem. Chapter 13. Friends of your enemies are your enemies. Matthew 26:15. Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and asked, "What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you?" Him being Jesus. So they counted out for him 30 pieces of silver. Good job, Judas. This just in. In your life, whenever you make an enemy, you must understand that everyone who is a friend of your enemy is also your enemy. Over the years, many employees have left my companies to start businesses to directly compete with me, or they've started businesses where they go and work directly for a client of mine. Either way, those are both party fouls. You shouldn't leave your company to go work for your client. Wow. Over the years, many employees have left my companies to start businesses to directly compete with me, and guess what? Nearly every time their friends and ex-coworkers went on to screw me too. Friends of your enemies are your enemies, and once you get out on a limb and stand up for something, get ready because you will create enemies. The former prime minister of England, who stood up to the Nazi fascists, Adolf Hitler and the gang, before the United States pledged our support. People don't realize this, but before the United States pledged its support to support England England stood alone against the fascists. Winston Churchill could have easily turned over the Jewish people to the Nazis to face certain death, but he chose not to do that because he agreed in freedom, democracy, the principle of not giving up the Jewish people, a lot of reasons. And he said, you have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something sometime in your life. In order for you to live a peaceful and drama-free life, you must know who your friends and enemies are. Remember, the friends of your enemies are your enemies. Who are the friends of your enemies? Write their names down. Who are the friends of your enemies? Who's the friend of your enemy number 1? Who's the friend of your enemy number 2? Who's the friend of your enemy number 3? Who's the friend of your enemy number 4, 5, and 6? You must be doing something really right here, my friend, if you have more than 6 people who are friends of your enemies. Think about that employee who left your company to compete against you. Is he your friend or your enemy? He's an enemy. Robert Greene, the best-selling author of Mastery, writes, people around you consistently under the pull of their emotions change their ideas by the day or by the hour, depending upon their mood. You must never assume that what people say or do in a particular moment is a statement of their permanent desires. So true. Chapter 14, don't compromise, only spend time with the wise. Proverbs 15:22 reads, without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed. Proverbs 15:22. As you climb higher and higher up the mountain of success, you will discover that there will be less and less people still climbing. In fact, as you hike and climb your way up to the top, you will find many people begging for you to stop and help them. However, if you stop and help them, you too will never reach your goal and the mountaintop because they're not actually walking anymore. They're not climbing anymore. They're just stagnant. However, once you do reach the top, you will want to bring people with you that don't deserve to be up there with you. Oh yeah. You'll want to leave your kids a big inheritance. Don't do it. Do not compromise. Only spend time with the wise and those people who are willing to put in the work to get to the top of the mountain. When you give people things, it injures their pride and it creates entitlement, and it's not good. When you introduce the whiners to the winners, it never goes well. T.D. Jakes, the best-selling author, pastor, and media mogul, writes, anytime ordinary comes in contact with extraordinary, there is a conflict. Chapter 15. Only invite happy glampers. Lee Cockrell, the former executive vice president of the Walt Disney World Resorts, who once managed over 40,000 employees and 1 million guests per week, writes, surround yourself with great people. Again, only invite happy glampers. Glampers are people that do glamorous camping, a.k.a. successful people. Once that moment happens and you realize that you too have become an overnight success as a result of diligently grinding for 15 years in a row, don't feel guilty about camping or glamping while living it up. If you want to enjoy glamorous camping, you should do it. You deserve it. At this point, you have made the trade-offs that were necessary to achieve your goals, and you should not feel obligated to invite everyone to figuratively go glamping or camping with you. Your friends should be only people who you share values and time with. Again, your friends should be, the only friends you should have are people that you spend time with and whose values you share. Not just people who you geographically live near or went to school with at some point. Keep your inner circle tight and don't confuse acquaintances as being friends. Remember, the secret of happiness is minimizing the amount of time that you spend with the people you don't choose to be with. Phil Libben. Remember that. My friend, it's not lonely at the top. It's just peaceful. Here's to your success. And I encourage you to look up Proverbs 10:4. Because remember, God blesses the hands of the diligent and punishes the hands of the slackard.
And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom! Stop what you're doing and think about this for a second. What would happen if your company was suddenly able to generate exponentially more quality sales leads? That would be incredible. What would happen if your company came up at the top or near the top of the Google search engine results?
Well, I would just feel overwhelmed with all that business.
How many thousands of dollars in lost sales or millions of dollars in lost sales are you missing out on simply because your potential customers can't find you when they go online to search for the products and services that you offer?
I refuse to think that thought because I don't want any more business.
Unless you are a dirty communist that hates money, my new book, Search Engine Domination, will help you grow your business. In my new book, Search Engine Domination, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take to dominate the search engine results.
What do you mean by dominate?
You see, in my new book, Search Engine Domination, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take to dominate search engine results. Download your free ebook copy today at thebestseobook.com. I repeat, that's thebestseobook.com.
My name is Amy Baltimore, and I am a CPA in Covington, Tennessee. I've been working with the Thrive team now for about a year. One of the first things that they did was to update my website and my search engine optimization. I prior had a website, but I was not being found on Google, and all of my new business was coming through referrals from friends, family, etc. And right away I started to see results. People were calling and coming in saying that they found me on Google. They just Googled CPA near me, and there I was at the top of the page. And so it's been a great help to my business.
Again, you can download your free ebook copy today at thebestseobook.com.
Hey, this is Dustin Huff. I'm with Keystone Harbor Marina. We joined Thrive back in January and have been working with these guys for about 7 months. During that time period, we have moved up our Google rank through reviews and SEO processes that we've compiled through these guys. Our leads have gone from about 4 a week to now 165 a week. So the process works. I will tell you from experience, once you begin, you have to stay with it. As long as you continually do this week in and week out, month in and month out, you'll continually grow.
The system works, but nothing works unless you do. You've got to take some action. Download the ebook for free today at thebestseobook.com.
Hello, my name is Daniel with Daniel's Heating and Air here in Amarillo, Texas. The way Google has affected my business, we have got a lot of calls from Google. Right now it's July, and we've had the best month ever. And it took us about 8 to 10 months to get on top of Google, and I'm glad we did.
Remember, nothing works unless you do. You have to go to thebestseobook.com today. Download the ebook for free. Just download that ebook for free, and you'll be off to the races.
Hi, my name is Christina Nemus. I'm the owner and operator of Angel's Touch Auto Body and Detailing in Bourne, Massachusetts. We have been working with Thrive and their coaching for, say, 8 to 9 months, and it took us about 6 months, 5 to 6 months to get on the top of Google, and with their help with the website and marketing, and the SEO and retargeting ads with Google, and it has been phenomenal. We just have light and day business coming in, phone calls coming in, walk-ins, referrals. It's just through the roof, and we couldn't be happier. At the moment, we are up 50% this year from the previous year, and not only is that part of our own hard work and diligence, but also with the help of Thrive and what they've done for us and getting us on the top of Google and, you know, all their knowledge and coaching. And yeah, so super grateful, super pumped to see what the future holds for all of us. Thank you.
This is your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 10:4. I'm here to tell you, you can do it if you can just motivate yourself. 12 the masses had to cut off a few, so on the daily, you and I could rendezvous. A misshapen tree that I had to prune. I had to make cuts to be here daily at noon. So, like a tidal wave of knowledge monsoon, I could rain on the parades of those who doubt in you. Are you the next Rockefeller or the next guru? Or the next Dr. King who's changing the rules? Walls are in your way, will you run right through? Like a running back, forth the one, it's up to you. I remember my days back in the dorm room, tuned to the gloom like the temple of doom. Overwhelmed with the doubts that try to consume my hope for the future that I could pursue. But from the mountaintop now I can conclude that you have what it takes if you want the view to.
This is your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time. It's your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
This moment is profound cause you're above the ground. Your road might have been rough, but what you got now is now. We're here to pick you up and to even show you how. But you gotta be resourceful with that old plow. Started from the bottom, but I worked my way up. Cause by 4 a.m. I've always been prayed up. Rise and grind, now's your time, don't dare let up. You gotta get it, don't quit it till your seeds grow up.
This is your year to thrive.
Come on.
Success you will find.
Yes.
Today is your day.
Somebody say,
And now is your time.
it's your time.
It's your year to thrive.
Come on.
Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
It's your time. We all have a wish and we all want to win, but we cannot begin without self-discipline. If you fall on your face, get yourself up again. Attach yourself to goals, not fail with the friends. When the storms get rough and they scatter and leave, you only be there with yourself and what you believe. We believe in you, but not as much as God does. If you're going through hell, He's got nothing but love. Apply what you learn, increase what you earn, and in due time you have money to burn.
Apply what you learn, increase what you burn, and in due time you got money to burn.
Sing it.
Apply what you learn, increase what you burn, in due time you got money to burn.
Sing it.
Apply what you learn,
Sing it.
increase what you burn.
Yes.
In due time you got money to
With this
burn.
biblical miracle,
Yeah.
I look to shout down the doubters. Kill the weeds that be killing your dream flowers. Empower you to devour all the obstacles that make your sweet dreams sour. As for me, I used to stutter, but now I'm on the microphone smooth like butter. If I can do it, I know you can too, but you must stick to it like postage do. And while Merton's on the chorus, singing what he sings, I encourage you to dream big dreams.
Today is your day.
Today's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
This is your year to thrive.
Sing it.
Success you will find. Today is your day.
It's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
Today is your day.
Come on.
And now is your time.
Sing it, Merton.
Today is your day. Now is your time.
I realize I can't sing like that, but I can talk and play the woodblock. Okay. If you guys need me, I'll just be over here.